Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do an energy reading for August. I'm really excited about August. I don't know about you. And I'll also say there is, depending on when you watch this, an August energy update also on my podcast. I'm actually doing two different energy updates for August, or for each month. One on the podcast and then one on YouTube here, because the guides told me to do that. So there's probably going to be overlapping themes coming up. And honestly, I recorded that one a while back, so I don't even remember what I said. And I don't even remember what I say half the time because when I'm in channel mode, I just kind of black out. I'm just talking and then I have to rewatch it. But just FYI, there is that extra energy update on the podcast. So if you want more information about August, you can check it out on Christina the Channel podcast as well. Just so you know. So we're going to tune in today. And yeah, I actually don't remember what I said in that podcast recording. So we'll see if it overlaps or where there's different bits of information coming through. And I'll just remind you that the way this works is I'm consciously channeling. So I'm repeating what the guides are saying, what I'm seeing, and pulling cards to anchor us in. So we get all the information, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. You know the drill. And I'll also just say, if you do love these energy updates and this type of content is supportive for you, definitely check out my membership, the Channel Collective. It is a huge resource library. I do regular energy updates there every week. There's a huge library of different channel messages to tune into. I kind of outline how to do your daily frequency work, and it's really designed to be what I call a spiritual playground. It has really all of the content you need around, energy updates, channel messages, but raising your vibration, manifestation, intuition, brain rewiring, all of that stuff. And there is a program you can follow to really squeeze the most out of it. We have monthly Q&A calls and we have monthly energy healing sessions. So it's a full party there. And I know a lot of you have been asking when it's opening up again. It is open now. So if you want to step into that, check it out. The link will be in the description below, and would love to connect with you further. That's the way to work with me. If you do want to work with me, that is the only container to work with me in. So would love to see you there. Check it out. And there are different options for signing up. All right, let's dive into August energy. So what I'll say first is just in terms of numerology, it's a 5 months. So change, transformation, travel. I have a bit of that travel energy too. It definitely is a shifting month. And so just looking at it from the numerology perspective, but then also we have Lionsgate. So that already opened that larger portal. And the Lionsgate portals, which is 8-8, are, double abundance. The last few years, looking at this 2020 to 2024, I'll call that its own kind of little portal where there's just so much shifting and transformation and ascension. These Lionsgate portals are very different and very unique, and big things are coming through. Lionsgate means a lot for me personally. It is when I downloaded Ahai a few years ago, which has completely changed my life. That's the form of energy work that I use and train other healers in. But these are just really potent ascension portals. And especially with Lionsgate, it's thinking about, what they're showing me is basically, it's like walking through a doorway that's a portal. And as you walk through it, everything that's not you anymore just gets stripped away. And when you walk through it on the other side, all that's left is the most authentic version of you. And what they just keep saying around August, because it's going to be connected to the energy around Lionsgate, and I am going to do a live channeling for Channel Collective memberships on Lionsgate, and those are always really potent just to receive the activations and energy work, so check that out if you want. But the energy is really around, what do you need to let go of to really be the most authentic version of yourself? It just feels like things are about to shift and you're not ever going back. You're just not going back to the way things were. And it feels like, all of this stuff has been really building up over this year. And a lot of this is around relationships and realizing which relationships are in alignment for us and which are not. And I think that energy has really hit a peak for a lot of us in terms of, if you've been really tuning in, you've realized which relationships aren't serving you, probably started to release things or adjust things. And what they keep saying is it's really about, there's a lot of boundaries right now. And so for you, you're going to realize, for me to really make this shift, for me to really transform in the way that's for my highest and best. And the transformation is actually more about it's not even becoming a new version of you. I mean, that's what it might look like, but what it really is a return to who you really are. It's a remembrance. It's a stripping away of all of the stuff that's in our way of really being our purest, most authentic essence. And it's realizing, okay, for me to actually transform into the version of me that I know is really there, this powerful, magnetic, lit up version of me where I'm just so in my creative flow, and creativity is a big piece of this because creativity is the path there always, right? Whenever we're feeling out of alignment, you anchor into creativity, and that is a pathway to living in alignment again. That basically opens up any blocks we might have had to seeing the truth. You always want to anchor into creativity. And so creativity and transformation are so linked in our own personal lives, and that's a tool that we can use, right? Because you're already tapping into, think about it, whenever you're doing anything creative, no matter what it is, you are in that energy of I'm a creator. You're in that energy of alchemizing, of transmutation, and so that energetically kind of bleeds over into your personal life in a positive way, and it kind of opens up that inner wisdom that we already have. But this piece around boundaries, where this is connected to relationship, is realizing, okay, for me to really transform, I'm going to have to set up different boundaries with people in my life, because it just feels like they're blocking you. And for some people that might mean releasing relationships, and for others it might just mean I need to set up new boundaries. I mean, if you're always bobbing back and forth between, texting people, checking Instagram, calling people, answering, like living in response, where is your creative space? And there's this other piece of, I know for me in my own life, anytime I've gone through a really potent period of transformation, I have very much needed to hermit. It's really difficult to raise our vibration and to really feel safe to make these shifts and show up as a different version of ourselves when we are really close to and energetically attached to people who want to anchor us into a certain pattern, right? Because when we're in a relationship, we have a certain frequency of the dynamic, and think of it like a chord, like I'm just pulled, I've got this groove, and this is where we're at. And so to try and move, to shift the vibration, it gets really sticky and it feels really heavy, and people are just going to want to anchor us where we're at because it feels safe there. That's what they're used to. That's what we're used to. And so really to make shifts, it's so much easier to let yourself go when you kind of are in that hermit energy. This is why, honestly, a lot of people break up to have that personal period of transformation. It is, I feel, a lot easier to step into your most authentic self when you're single than when you are in a romantic relationship. It just is. I'm not saying it can't be done the other way around, but it is a lot easier for people. And that's why even in dating and manifesting relationships, the best path is I'm just going to focus on being my purest, most authentic self, because I only want to really attract somebody in from that space. Otherwise, as I grow and shift and change and I shift into a new vibration, will we still be attracted to each other? But what they just they're like screaming. This feels really important. It is, what do I need to let go of? Like, I feel like there's something that you need to let go of. And that could be a belief, that could be a pattern. Like, there's going to be something that's really bumping up where it's like, God, I just got to get rid of, like, why do I keep doing this? Why am I self-sabotaging? Why do I keep engaging in this pattern? Why do I keep being avoidant? Why do I keep dating people who I know are not going to show up for me? Why do I keep every single day, I tell myself I'm going to go to bed early and wake up earlier and go to the gym, and every single day I stay up too late and I watch TV, and then I wake up the next day feeling groggy and like, what the hell, right? And so it could be whatever it is. It could be, oh my gosh, I keep saying I'm going to not spend as much time with that person, and I just kind of keep falling into it. Whatever it is, there's a pattern, there's a behavior, there's a dynamic that you need to let go of. And this is really just like getting over our own bullshit and not wanting to deal with it anymore. And you're gonna have to finally say, I'm ready to let that go in order for you to transform. And the second you really, really do let it go, things can happen. Things can shift really drastically. And so the question is, what do I need to let go of? What do I need to let go of? And it feels like in that letting go, like think about, how is it serving me to hold on to it? Because if it wasn't serving you in any way, you wouldn't be holding on to it, right? Is this a way that I can hide? Is this because I'm actually afraid of being loved? Am I afraid of being seen? Am I afraid of my own power because I won't have an excuse anymore? Like, how is it serving you? Right? In some weird, it can be a very twisted way, but it can be serving you, because if it wasn't at all, if it wasn't giving you some type of excuse or something to hide behind or whatever it is, then you would have already let go of it, right? So how is that serving me? And then also, how is it not? And what timeline am I more committed to? Because especially with Lionsgate, it's very much, if you have chosen the timeline that you want to be in, if you've had the courage to say, I'm claiming this in my life, I'm claiming this timeline, you walk through that portal like it is straight up like a doorway, and you've anchored it in, and things are going to move really, really quickly. And they're basically like, pick, because whatever you decide in August, now the transformation can actually happen. But we have to have the courage to decide and to claim what we really want. And so are you going to keep staying in your own bullshit, or are you going to switch it up and let go of that stuff that's not serving you, that person, that thing? It's like, zoom out, and they keep saying, like, it's like you're too in it. And so it might feel like a big ordeal. Oh my gosh, is this person going to get upset? Well, what if this happens? And this is just where our ego is spinning all of these stories that aren't necessarily true. And like, zoom out, big picture, and think about what you're going to think about this time in 20 years. Like, when you are the most abundant, successful, happy version of yourself, and you're looking at this, what decision are you going to look back and think, holy shit, I'm so happy I made that choice. And I can't believe I was so caught up in what that person was going to say, or I can't believe I was holding myself back. Like, really give yourself that kind of perspective. That's going to be really important at this time. But it really is a stepping into like the timeline you want, choosing that. And then when you step through that portal, now you can receive all of the activations to become that version of yourself. And we're just going to feel a very strong contrast between the people who have chosen themselves and chosen their highest timelines, and who said, I'm ready to let go of my own bullshit. Like, I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to claim that thing that I want. And I'm going to choose it. I'm going to allow myself to be loved, because that is what it really is, right? We're going to see such a difference in speed for those people. It's like just momentum catapult really quickly because you've chosen it, and the universe is like, yes. And where we haven't chosen our highest timeline, and what I mean by that is where we have chosen fear. We have chosen fear and staying comfortable, which isn't even that comfortable. Fear and fake comfort, the illusion of comfort over love, over soul desire, over soul self, that is going to feel heavier and heavier and heavier. And I actually feel that a lot of how that's going to manifest is in physical health issues, because this is where it's really popping up right now. The further we get into this shift, is people who are not choosing their highest alignment or living it from their soul self. It's popping up as physical body issues, and our ability to cope with stressors, our ability to deal with all the crap that's getting pumped in the air, and in the water and all that, it gets lower and lower, right? And because you fortify yourself, you strengthen yourself when you consistently say yes to your higher mission, to your soul self, to your joy, to your happiness, right? To living your purpose, which is to be happy, And so it's about making courageous decisions from love that really catapults you forward and makes you really fortified and just strong energetically, emotionally, physically. And so a lot of where it's going to pop up is in your physical body. And if you're feeling it in your physical body, that is a very strong sign that there is somewhere that you are having leaky boundaries and living out of alignment. So there's a higher decision to be made, is what they're saying. But something underneath it as well is I feel that there's a fear around stepping into the next level of your spiritual path. They keep showing this, it's so beautiful, this like portal that opens up from the sky and has beautiful violet light shining down. And it's like when you step in, they're showing Lionsgate, these are the visual representations, like Lionsgate being that doorway with this hologram in the center. You walk through when you choose the highest frequency version of yourself, and now this beautiful like violet portal opens up that allows you to really connect with the divine on a much deeper, more profound level. And so a lot of spiritual gifts become activated, things just turn on effortlessly. And you know what? That's the thing about intuitive gifts. It works very differently than, if I want to go learn to play basketball or play the guitar, I practice every day. I'm kind of working to figure it out, right? And over time I get better and better. Intuition can work like that a little bit, but honestly, it's more like you say yes to yourself, you say yes to your soul self, you live in alignment, and one day, holy shit, it just turns on. One day, holy shit, I'm hearing people in my ear, right? And so I'm turning on those spiritual gifts. And they're saying for a lot of people, it's almost like, whether or not you're conscious of it, it's going to be a subconscious thing of feeling like I'm really close to being to this next level of my spiritual journey, and am I ready for that? And what's really important underneath that is just starting to get clear on, well, why am I afraid of that? What's the fear? Am I afraid something scary is going to happen? Am I afraid that people are going to judge me? You know what it really is? When people are afraid of their gifts opening up, I find it is they're afraid of knowing the truth of what's going on in their lives. Because this is the thing about opening up your intuition. When it's clear, you just know. You just know, right? And I know for me, that was something that I had to be okay with. Like, I'm going to see the truth right in front of my face of what I need to let go of, what I need to say yes to. And that might scare the shit out of me. But once you see it, like, you can't unsee it. And so a lot of people subconsciously block themselves from seeing it because they know that, well, once I see that this is out of alignment, once I see I want to leave that job, I want to leave that career, I want to leave that relationship, or I want to say yes to this relationship, I want to say yes to this career, I want to move across the world, like whatever those deeper dreams are, those things that you know are deep within you, those truths deep within you, they're going to be so freaking obvious. And then what are you going to do, right? So are we ready to see the truth? And that is going to be required if we really want to step into our next level. But with that next level of your spiritual journey and you saying yes to that and things just opening up, this is where you allow yourself to fully receive support from the universe. This is where the things that you've been manifesting flow in effortlessly. This is where you unlock your full magic, your full potential, your peak potential. This is where life becomes magical, right? And the other side of that is, are you gonna feel like, am I leaving people behind, right? So there's a lot of stuff underneath it of like, if life is so good, and I'll say this, this is a whole other topic. I should probably podcast about this, but I feel like people don't talk about this enough. When life gets really good and you're genuinely happy, there are a lot of people that might not like that. And that might change a lot of relationships. That might make it awkward for certain people. They might project things onto you or judge things around you, or it might be difficult for you to relate with certain people because you always relate over struggles. And so that's something to think about as well. There are truths to be revealed, but there's a lot of change and transformation. It just, it gets to be a fast month, or it gets to be a heavy, sluggish month if you are gonna hide and choose based on fear. So what do you want to choose? Okay. Here we go. Ignite your passion. Find your calm. Recall your dreams. I'm gonna say the dreams is really, like, the astral is really active right now. Ask a question before you go to sleep and see what comes through. See what dreams you remember. You can train yourself to remember more of your dreams if you don't already. I have I have at least one YouTube video on that, and then I have a training in the membership. 2 more. Okay, thank you. Get crystal clear and live your purpose. And I mean, it feels like a very broad, big call to action, but it's quite simple of like, this is the month where you can be effortlessly carried to magic and miracles really quickly. It feels like, the example is like, imagine somebody's working, I don't know why they're saying this. You're like working at the grocery store and you have a dream to be a singer and you've just been dreaming about it, not doing anything. And you decide right now, today, screw this. I'm quitting the grocery store. I'm going to send in my what are they called? Oh my God, what are they called? Why am I blanking on the word? Come on. I'm going to send in my tape, whatever it's called. Why am I blanking on the term? Whatever. People send in their sample songs or whatever. I'm going to send it in and I'm going to do this. I'm going to pursue it. And it's like this overnight drastic thing. And the second that person said, screw this, I'm leaving this, I'm saying yes to myself, the energy is so ripe for miracles to happen. And that person sends in that, that sample song, that sample cover song, and somebody picks them up, and next week there's a big agent who's like, we want to sign a deal with you. And it literally happens that fast. And that person is like, holy shit, in 2 weeks, I literally went from working at the grocery store to being, Spotify top 50. Like that's the bigness of the energy right now. But what was required was that person to say, screw all this. I'm saying full yes to myself, because whatever you focus on right now, like whatever you choose and decide, all of the momentum is being added toward that. So what do you want to add momentum to? The shit you've been doing or your purpose? And you know what's so important is, like, I want you to really stop and think about that, because a lot of people think that what they want to do, like, what they think they want to do is what they think they want to do, not what they actually want to do. You see what I'm saying there? So tuning into your soul, what are your natural gifts? What is lighting you up? What is the life that you really want versus the life you have been thinking you want? Or you're looking at other people and seeing other people and thinking, I want to be as happy as them. So I think the way I'm going to get there is by doing what they're doing. So I think I want to build this type of company or this type of business or work at this type of job. And we create these illusions around what's going to make us happy. What we really want is that happiness. But the problem for a lot of people is they're so in copycat syndrome, and so they're trying to be other people. They're trying to do it the same way that other people are doing it. You know what I'll tell you is, I mean, I've seen this so often with different people who come in my fields. There are so many people who, if they did what I did, they would literally hate it. I love it because it's for me, right? And I see this with people who come in and they try and copy my business model, and I watch as it like they're like not feeling the way they want to feel, or it's so much resistance. And I'm like, yeah, because this is in alignment for me, not necessarily for you. And so what's in alignment for you? And so they're basically saying just getting really clear on what your deeper desires really are and allowing yourself that creative space to like not limit yourself with possibilities. It's like, okay, the way we think about it is, okay, I have these 5 options. What do I want my life to be like? It's like, no, screw that. You have infinite possibilities. You get to design your life. You get to create your life. So what is it going to look like? And don't tell yourself that you can't ask for X, Y, Z. Like you can create what you want, and you have to let yourself be in that creative space. I can't emphasize that enough. Look at this. Okay. Risk. We love a good risk, don't we? What was I just talking about? We have love and partnership. And this is the thing, because September will be a big love month. We're in a 6th year. September will be 9 plus, it'll be a 6th month. That's double love, relationship, domestic life energy. This is going to be really strong. And so for those of you manifesting love, the choices that we're making in August are basically going to position you for that in September, where it's coming in really quickly. You guys, the number of people I am witnessing like meet their partner. People are meeting people, and like 3 weeks later, it's like, yeah, we're getting married. Like people just know. There's so much of this happening right now. So really paying attention to if you're manifesting a partner, you have to make the decisions that are in full alignment for you and from your soul self to actually position yourself to attract in that person that is fully a vibrational resonance. Like you have to first anchor into the timeline you genuinely want to be in to attract in the person that's going to be in alignment with that higher timeline. Does that make sense? So that has to happen first. So it's like setting yourself up for that. I feel that, I mean, maybe I'll do a separate love reading. Like it's a ripe month for meeting people. That's the change, that's the transformation, that's the travel. And it's through choosing your highest timeline that you're aligning yourself with meeting that person or deepening a connection with somebody already in your field, depending on how it's going to come in. But for those of you who are already in a relationship, it feels like a real clarity point around what you want in the relationship, and maybe a shifting of dynamic is what they're saying. So if it's feeling kind of dry or stale, it's like, hey, what if we tried these new things? It feels like a new beginning kind of energy to it, and it feels like a deepening of the connection. And if it's not right, it's going to be quite obvious, right? So anything that is relevant in this part of our lives, the love, the partnership, how we relate to each other, is going to be just very, very clear for us this month, and made itself known. So it's really a deepening, but that comes from a deepening with our connection with ourselves, right? And choosing ourselves and our highest timelines. So, this is interesting. I feel that just in general with partnership and that energy that is around friendships, that is around romantic relationships, that is around business partnerships and career, like there's this real clarity around what do I really require of people in my life and how do I want to relate to them. And this goes back to the boundary piece, because what's going to be of the utmost importance as you're really getting anchored into your mission is, what type of people do I need around me to feel fully supported and to feel like the people around me are really celebrating me, right? Because that's a really important part of feeling energetically stabilized. Are these people that are in my field in my corner, or are they just there and I can't fully be myself, or I can't celebrate my wins with them. Like, this is really going to come to light. And it's also going to, it just feels like a snap moment of like, yeah, I'm not dealing with this bullshit anymore. Like, you're either showing up for me in this way, the way I show up for you, or it's just not going to work. Cause like, we don't have time to screw around. Like, this is just, I'm over it. I'm over the BS. So really thinking about what you want any type of partnership relationship to look like. And I feel like there's needs to be a big cleaning up of those boundaries in order to move forward successfully in all relationships. Remember, boundaries are not barriers. Boundaries are not cutting people off. They are getting clear on what we need and how we want to show up in a relationship and what we are and aren't available for. They are how we continue relationships. Okay, we have the Panther Spirit, Reclaim Your Power. Ooh, this card always makes me feel some type of way. All right, Panther Spirit, Reclaim Your Power. And that's really that energy of like, I'm saying full yes to myself, catapulting forward a lot of momentum and a lot of spiritual activations and gifts. And then magically people just pop into your environment. I swear to God, life gets to be like that. I swear, I will say, I'm like, please send me this person. I need someone to help me with this. I'm thinking about it. And I get a text, I get an email. It freaks me out. It like literally, it never ceases to amaze me how the simulation is so responsive to my reprogramming. Okay, Wombat Spirit. This Wombat Spirit haunts me, I swear to God. It's in every goddamn reading. It's been the theme of 2022. Wombat Spirit 2022. Be at home. What this card is actually about is about coming back home to yourself, and it's about where am I living with false identities? Like, where have I put up masks? Where am I pretending to be somebody that is not my fully authentic self? And it's about taking off those masks and just being the fully authentic you. And to be honest, when you decide that for yourself and then you show up in that way, you don't even necessarily have to make decisions about relationships. Like, things shake themselves out, because when we actually show up as our most authentic versions of ourselves, people who are not aligned, it will be very obvious because they won't be down for that. But I just feel like there just feels like some like sneaky, I don't want to like freak you out, but it just feels like there are people in the field right now who are just not fully aligned. There are people there who are kind of jealous of you. There are people there who like don't really have the best intentions. They feel kind of selfish and self-centered. They just feel like energetic clutter, and it's time to clear that shit out. It's like, look, this is the authentic me. I want to live at this frequency. Are you down with it, or are you not? And that's pretty much the ride. And I feel like it's gonna be like really obvious for you who those people are. Like, the energy of these, it's just, they feel like extras. It doesn't feel like people super close to you. It feels like, I mean, it might be, but the energy is more like a periphery, like just these extra people. And they're people who, you know, before you're like, oh, you know, they're fine, they're just acquaintances, but I'm not super into it. And now it's like, yeah, I don't want that anywhere in my field, because I have to make space. Holy shit. Oh my God. Sorry. Tarot lovers. I gotta make space. I can't have this energy clutter. Quality over quantity. And it just feels like a lot of big realizations about who's supporting you in your expansion and your growth, and who's celebrating that and who's not. And that's the real thing to tap into. Like, is this person somebody who is along for the ride with me and supportive of my entire transformation and committed to being with me through that transformation, however it might turn out? Or is this somebody that's only committed to this one version of me and they don't really want the other versions? Because guess what? I mean, that's a very constrictive relationship, and that's just not gonna last a long time. Okay, so I'm just pulling some final cards around August. I mean, the Lovers card came up, Temperance, Knight of Swords. So basically what I'm getting from this is, okay, I feel like you're getting your energy back. I feel like you're getting your flow back. So if you have been in a period of like rest, recovery, evaluation, which I think a lot of people have been, it's been a lot. We know whenever you're about to go through a big transformation, there's a lot of evaluation that comes first from that, right? It's like, I'm just taking stock of things. I'm figuring things out. I'm starting to notice the patterns and things that are coming up in my environment. And now it is, okay, I'm recognizing what's not working for me anymore. And I'm actually going to choose to like step away from this, because I'm realizing these little places where I'm feeling like I have to like watch my back. Like, I'm not feeling fully supported. I'm feeling like I have to hedge what I say. I'm feeling like I can only show one version of myself. And you're going to notice how that just does not feel great. And so there's a cutting of cords there, right? There's a, I'm taking action on that. I'm moving in a different direction. This month is the month of deciding, choosing. Once you make that energetic shift, if you actually genuinely choose, the universe calibrates to that and things start to happen. But you got to take action on it, right? You got to actually choose it and really, really mean it. And when you do that, when you're like, I'm not doing this thing anymore, where I have to adjust myself, where I have to always like compromise myself for other people, or this thing where I'm like lowering my vibration or limiting my expansion and growth, or limiting all these things that I want to explore and try out because I'm worried what other people are going to think, or it's like worried about other people and what they're doing. Like we're over that. We're over that. And it's finally coming to light. You make the decision, you cut out those relationships, and that is where new opportunities come in, new people come in, and the momentum is really, really strong. That's what a lot of this is about. And it's about coming back into balance with yourself, because I do feel like you've recognized where things are not in balance, like where that's the best word I can use. Like you feel like you've been too far in one direction, you feel kind of like pulled. It's just been feeling off, right? Whether that's with your time, your social life, or balancing, like work-life balance is a classic example of this, right? And it's like finally in these decisions, this is how you're going to create that balance in your life again. You get to have it all. You get to have it all, but in order to have it all, you have to choose that highest timeline, and you're going to have to release the things that are energetic clutter. You're going to have to release the things that are not full body hell yeses. Like, so things are going to have to be cleared out, rearranged, or new boundaries drawn so that you can have that full balance, right? And with that, there's new beginning energy. There's all of your manifestations are coming in. There is celebration. There is community and abundance. There's a lot of abundance on the other side of that. And so, man, yeah, you could be at a whole different place at the end of the month. And if you're calling in love, here we go. They're right around the corner. Manifesting in relationships is not about you looking for somebody. It's about you actually being energetically available for that. And to be energetically available and ready for that, you have to be already anchored into your highest timeline, like choosing yourself, your purpose, your mission, and living in that frequency as your most authentic self. And then that person can see you and you can see them. So yeah, wow, lots of partnership energy, lots of coming back into balance, lots of quantum leaps here. And August is going to be a wild month. So it really is. So am I ready to let go of my own bullshit? Am I ready to let go of the false identities, the masks I wear? Am I ready to let go of my self-sabotage? Am I ready to let go of my fear and of hiding, and put myself out there so I can actually receive and take the bold action and allow the universe to deliver really big, magical things to me? All right. Happy August. What a month. If you enjoyed this, leave a comment below. Let me know if it resonated. I always love reading your comments, so thank you for those, and hit the thumbs up button if you did enjoy this. Share this, send it with somebody you love if you think it would help them out as well. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you have not already, so you don't miss any future videos. Thanks again so much for watching. I'm sending you lots of love, and I will see you in a future video.